Hey everybody, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to give everyone a minute to log in and then we'll get started. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys might be joining us from today. Welcome to today's webinar, co-hosted by the New York Oracle User Group and Oracle partner Viscosity North America. We are super excited to have Oscar here presenting for us, his first time for us at NYOUG and Viscosity. And we are excited, especially because he's presenting something that he shared with Kscope attendees this past summer. So very, very lucky for us to have him here today. This is a live webinar, so it is being recorded. You will be able to rewatch it later, and Oscar's going to share his slides with us as well. So give our team a little bit of time to get everything uploaded, but once it is, look for an email from us, and then you'll have instructions of how to find it. All right. Co-hosting with me today are NYOUG board members Coleman and Rob. Coleman is going to tell us a little bit about NYOUG, and then I'll introduce you very quickly to Viscosity, and then Oscar will take it over from there.
Thank you, Monica, for the kind introduction. So the New York Oracle Users Group was formed in 1984, just a short while ago, for the exchange of ideas, assistance, and support among users of Oracle software products. Next slide, please. And you can connect with us on Meetup, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and our website, nyoug.org, which we do keep the last 5 years that we've been co-hosting webinars with Viscosity. We keep all the webinars and the PowerPoint presentations online. So feel free to check out our website and also our future webinars that are coming up. And we have one coming up in 2 weeks. And we also have a live meeting next Tuesday at a conference center in New York City. Just look at our website and you'll have all the information about it. Thank you, Monica.
Do you want to tell them who your speaker is in person? Because it's a pretty good speaker.
The speaker we have is Maria, and she's from Oracle, and I've got to get the information out. If you have that in front of you, Monica,
I
but
think I think all they need to know is it's Maria Colgan from Oracle. She is one of the best speakers you could ever see online and even better live. If you follow her at SQL Maria, you can learn so much more from her blogs and her tweets. So check her out. Maria is amazing. I think she's going to be presenting on 26 AI.
yes. Yes,
I
no,
put you
she
on
is
the
going to
spot
present
there.
26 AI. No worries. That's why we have backups here. But
Yes.
thank
Okay,
you
well,
again.
I
And
hope you
anyway,
guys go out there.
and I want to thank Viscosity for co-hosting this past 5 years of these webinars, and will continue to go on such as this is.
Yes, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Coleman. And if you're not familiar with Viscosity, we are a consulting firm, consulting on the full Oracle stack. Our expertise is in Oracle database, including RAC, Oracle Apex. We do perform near zero downtime migrations for our clients. We do tons of performance tuning and high availability projects. And we've also got decades of experience with infrastructure, including engineered systems. We're actually named Oracle Partner of the Year for the Oracle Database Appliance. And we've been working to prepare our clients to upgrade to either 23 AI or 26 AI. So if that's something you guys are looking at doing and you need any help at all, please feel free to reach out. I would love to get our guys to help you out, or at least even consult with you on your roadmap, whether you're still on-prem or in the cloud. This here is the 3 pillars that Viscosity is built upon. So data, apps, cloud, and infrastructure. And across the bottom, you'll see all the different services we offer to each of those 3 tiers. Hopefully you recognize some of these folks here. These are some of our Oracle ACE directors. They're presenting, writing, etc. constantly, and they present all over the globe. If you're familiar with the ACE program, it's awesome. If you're not, I definitely recommend checking it out. They basically give these tiers of recognition to different Oracle speakers. And if you are an Oracle speaker or writer, or you're interested in getting into that community, definitely check it out. They get to be part of beta testing. They get to travel around the world, all these things with the Oracle ACE staff. And it's just a very awesome opportunity for those of you who are interested in either learning from or developing your own path in the presentation space. Okay, on this slide, I really like to point out just a couple things. Oracle License Management. This is something I always recommend to people to go to a partner for, just because it's less headache for you guys. And typically, it does tend to save you money, or it does tend to make sure and give you accountability to make sure you're taking advantage of your investment. We know none of this is cheap. It's very easy to get confused throughout the process, and partners like Viscosity do it so often that A, we can, take that headache off of you, and B, we can also make sure you're getting the best cost. And sometimes we can even, go back and ask for more deeper discounts if possible. All right, and other than that, we do have our apps team. So we do a lot of Oracle Apex development for our clients in tandem with our professional services on the database side. Okay, and then orapub.com is powered by Viscosity. It's been around for years, created by Oracle ACE director Craig Shallahammer, who is now part of our team. So hopefully you've seen it or heard of it, but now it's part of Viscosity, and it is where we house all of our recordings, and we also host live virtual training here as well. So if you are a free member there already or a paid member, you can log in hopefully by tomorrow and check this out. Of course, you can always go to NYOUG.org as well. We do have paid tiers here, and I always recommend to people to see if your employer allows you to reimburse that cost, because it is a lot of great training. All right. And with that, make sure that you are signed up for all of our upcoming webinars, or see if we're somewhere near you. And as always, go to NYOUG.org to see the webinars that we do with Coleman, Rob, and their team. So with that, I'm going to change it over to Coleman, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Monica. So I just want to announce Oscar. He's a consultant to the FDNY, Fire Department of New York, and he's got a lot of exciting and good technical information to talk to you about Apex. So thank you again, Monica. Thank you, Oscar, for presenting today, and everybody enjoy the webinar.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Sure do.
Okay, perfect. So thank you for joining this presentation. I'm going to start right away. First thing, I want to comment that this application that I'm going to present, it was a personal project for my personal use. But while working on this project, I learned more, understand certain features in Apex and Oracle that I knew that they existed before. But also I discovered new features, new cool features while working on this. Very, very powerful and interesting features that I'm going to showcase today. So hopefully you will learn something new and something that you can apply also in your own projects. So it all started when I moved to New York City in July 2023. I had to use daily commute using different services like subways and bus. And I had to, I wanted to have more information about this kind of services. So I discovered the MTA. MTA is the agency for the public transportation in New York City. They offer certain resources for developers. So actually, they publish information about subways, railroads, and buses. and it's freely available for developers. You only have to register to get an API key, and you can consume or use these APIs, right? So, for instance, for buses service, they have two kind of APIs. They have one APIs that, or some APIs that are JSON, plain JSON. So if I open one of these APIs I'm showing here, it is a JSON format that you can simply call and start using it right away. Is very simple. But I noticed something, they offer something called GTFS real time. If I try to open the URL, the API, you can see here, this is not a plain JSON anymore. This is like a binary format that you have to parse to get the information, right? So that is for buses. For the bus service, they offer these both options. And for Subway, they offer these services, but only with the GTFS standard. That means the standard that is not plain JSON, that is like the binary standard that you need to parse to get the information. That standard is using something called protocol buffer. And that is why this is not plain format, is something that you need to parse. So by that time, at that moment, I chose, for simplicity reasons, I chose the JSON API. So that way, I was able to build an application in Apex very simply using these APIs in JSON, and I was able to get the location of the buses and the location of the stops for the buses. So that was okay. I was able to get some information, but then I moved to Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, the agency for public transportation is called SEPTA. And I was wondering if they offer these public APIs, and they do, but they only use the GTFS standard for the APIs that they provide. So, of course, the solution that I initially created for MTA buses, JSON standard, it was not reusable here in Philadelphia because there were completely different standards and different formats. So I wanted to know more about this GTFS. So first I tried to find something in PL SQL to parse this protocol buffer that is used in the GTFS. And I couldn't find anything in PL SQL to do that. There are some libraries to parse this protocol in Java, Python, or Node.js, because I am familiar with Node.js and with JavaScript. I was looking, or I found this package, this library to do the parsing. Here is the web page of that package, of that library. It is an example of how to use it. It's very simple. And I was able to use it locally in my Node.js machine. Locally, I was able to use the APIs from SEPTA or from MTA to parse the information and to have that information. But of course, that was locally in Node.js environment. So I wanted to use it from Apex. So one approach that I explored to do that was to have Amazon Lambda functions or Oracle Cloud functions to do that. With Amazon Lambda or Oracle Cloud functions, you can create services that use any language or certain language in some of the one of the languages is Node.js. So in this case, I could use the library that I found in Node.js and create the service. So the parsing of the protocol buffer would happen internally in the in the lambda function, and the lambda function would return the JSON parsed information. So that way I could call the lambda function or the Oracle Cloud function and get the parsed information in JSON, right? So this worked. Actually, I posted about that in my blog. Here are the links. So if you want to get more into the detail of how I did it, but of course this approach will need an external component, so the Lambda functions or Oracle Cloud functions, and these external components, even though they are cheap, they are not free to use. They will cost. They have a cost associated, and also is an external component. So I wanted something more local or more in the database on Apex to do it, right? So I'm going to get more into the detail how I did it. But first, here there is the documentation about GTFS. This standard, I think it was created by Google, and very quickly it has two main parts. It's called GTFS schedule and GTFS real time. So the schedule is like the static part. Is information that you can load from text files. So these text files have some structure defined, and you can load. And this is the information that maybe does not change very often about the routes, the stops, the trips, right? So this is information that doesn't change very often. But the real-time part is the information that is changing in real time, right? So they offer three services with in this part. They offer trip updates, service alerts, and vehicle positions, right? And it's up to the agency, to MTA or SEPTA, if they are going to provide all of three services, or maybe they can offer only a subset of these services, right? So, and this, of course, this part is the part that is using the APIs, that is using the protocol buffer, right? Because the schedule part is easy because it's only text files. It's very easy to manage, but this part is the one that is using the protocol buffer. Okay. Also, I found this URL. This is a very good resource. And as they state here, there are over 4,000 feeds that are included in this database, over 75 countries. This is the information about what agencies around the world are using GTFS for publishing some information. So, for instance, here I'm going to do a quick search. If I want to know if in Florida there are some agencies using the GTFS standard, so here I can filter, for instance, only the one that are using real time. So I can find here, and actually they also tell me if they are using the trip updates, vehicle position, or service alerts. So what service they support with GTFS real time. So here is very good resource to find out if your city or your agency are using this standard. Okay, so this is the tool, that the feature that I use to make it work directly from Apex. It's called Multilingual Engine, MLE. This is a feature that was introduced in Oracle database in 21C, but it was improved in 23 AI. And the idea is that you can run JavaScript code in the database in the server side, right? It's an alternative option for writing server side in addition to PL SQL. This is important. This is not a replacement for your PL SQL code, but it's an alternative and additional option. This case, I think is a very good example why this feature is very useful, because in my case, I couldn't find anything in PL SQL that could do the parsing of the protocol buffer. And there was a library already created in JavaScript, in Node.js. So this is a very good example, a very nice option to have, because I was able to make it work, and I will explain how I did it in a moment. And also, Apex started to include support for MLE in many parts, in the page designer, also in the object browser, and the SQL commands. So this is some screenshots. Basically, in Apex, in any place that you can use PL SQL, for instance, in processes, in computations, validations, you can also have the option to run the JavaScript MLE code. Of course, this option is enabled only if Apex is installed in a database that supports this feature. That means 21C or 23AI, right? And also they included in the SQL commands part and in the database objects part. So here there is a dedicated part for the MLE modules and environment. So it's very easy to create directly from the Apex workspace the modules, MLE modules that you want to use. So there are some resources about the integration with Apex and MLE. Here I found one blog that is very well explained how to integrate validator.js library in Apex using MLE. So here you have the resource if you want more detail. And also there are office hours recording on how to do that. And basically, what they tell you in this blog post and also on the office hour recording is that the best way to import a module in Apex is to get a URL from a CDN, from a content delivery network, like, for instance, this one, JS Deliver. So with this kind of web pages, you can find the JavaScript library that you want, and they will give you a URL. You can specify what version of that library you want. And also in this format, this is important because this is the format that MLE supports, ESM. So it's very simple to get this URL from this website. And with that, you can create the module here in the database objects. It's very easy. You simply specify a name and specify the URL, right? And with that, the module is already created. And now you need to create an environment. So you can do it from here also. To create the environment, you only give a name, and then you add the imports or associate the import, the module that were imported before, here to that environment. Is a couple of clicks and you are ready. And with that, for instance, from the SQL commands, I can specify that I'm going to run JavaScript, MLE, that I have to specify the environment where my module is associated. And I simply, with this simple instruction, I import my module, and with that I am able to use the libraries or the functions that are included in my module. So in this case, I have here the isEmail function that is part of this library, and I can use it very easily from here. So that was very easy. That was a couple of clicks, and I was ready to use it from my database, right? So I was thinking that it would be the same easy for doing it for my GTFS library, right? My Node.js GTFS library. So first, I I have to find the library in the JS Deliver website, and actually I did. This is the URL that I found on the website. So I did exactly the same process. I imported the module using this URL. Then I created my environment, associated the module. Okay, because in this case we are going to call external URL where the APIs are located. So I will need to do something like this in my database to grant the permission to go to those external URLs. And with that, I was hoping to see it working the same as I did with the validator library. But I didn't. I got an error. And the error here is saying I cannot load a module called protobuf.js, right? So what is happening is if I open the validator library in the NPM website where it's published, I can see now here that it has 0 dependencies. This library does not have any dependencies. But if I open my GTFS real-time library, it has 2 dependencies, right? I can see here that the dependencies are protobuf, the one that was getting the error here, right? And also another dependency here. And if I open that library, I will see that also that library has some dependencies. Any of those libraries have some dependencies. And also if I open the dependency of the dependency, maybe it will have more dependencies and so on. So it would be very complex. First, I tried to solve the issue like importing these dependencies also in like an MLE module to get the URL from the JS Deliver site and imported that in Apex. But I realized that there are many dependencies there, and it would be very hard to do it that way. So I needed to find another solution. And the solution I found was this package or library called ESBuild. This is a Node.js library. And this library allows you to generate a bundle file with all the dependencies in there. So this is what I needed. So I only needed to create an entry.js file specifying what is the library that I want to import. And by using this simple instruction, ESBuild, specifying what is my entry.js file, I specify that I want a bundle object that I want in format ESM. This is important because this is the format that is supported by MLE, and the file that I want to generate, in this case, bundle.js file. With that, this file is generated, and now I can create the MLE module, but I'm not going to use URL as before. I'm going to say, I'm going to upload the file. So I'm going to upload the file that I generated in the previous step, right? After that, is the same. I have to create my environment, add the import to this environment. And with that, finally, I was able to directly from Apex to call my GTFS real-time API and parse it, and in this case, show the information here to the console, parse the parse information to the console, right? One thing to notice here is the use of this fetch library, because I am going to call external URL for the APIs. In JavaScript, in Node.js, it's very common to use fetch, but this is also like a module, a library. So to use it, I will need to install it or to in some way to install it for being able to use it, right? But fortunately, the Oracle MLE team thought about this, and they included, like they mentioned in here, they included essential JavaScript modules that are already loaded for you in the MLE environment. And one of these of the libraries was the fetch library. So that was very convenient because with that I was able only I needed to do this import here, and with that I am able to use the fetch library without worrying about installing this library or anything, right? So that was very convenient. So with that, I was able to start using this code to parse the GTFS real-time APIs. In any part of my Apex application, I could create pages, and inside create processes that run MLE code and something like this to have the information, right? But I thought that maybe a better approach to get this information is to have it in a centralized background process instead of calling the API per page view. Maybe I have 20 or 30 users hitting the same page, and they will hit the API. That will create an overload. So maybe it's better to have it centralized. So, and also, these kind of APIs, depending on the agency, but they publish updates or new information every 20 to 30 seconds. So I needed something that I am able to configure with a frequency every 20 or 30 seconds. So Oracle Scheduler Jobs can do that. But the issue is that scheduler jobs run PL SQL code. So how can I run MLE code from SQL or PL SQL directly? So no problem. There is a solution already here in Oracle for that. And the solution is that you can create a function, a PL SQL function, but you specify that this function, okay, this function is going to return CLOP because this function is going to return the JSON format, the JSON information already parsed. But you need to specify that is an MLE module. And what is the name of the module? You need to specify the environment, and the signature is a function in that module that will return the information that is going to be as the response in this function. So here is like it looks the module and how it looks the signature function here. And this returns already the JSON, the parsed JSON, right? So with that, I am able to use that that PL SQL function in any SQL or PL SQL code. So for example, here I have a table called JSON cache, a column called JSON data, and I can directly update this column, the JSON data column, with the result of the PL SQL function that I created that is invoking the MLE code, right? So very convenient. And with that, I was able to create the scheduler jobs. So for instance, here I have some jobs that runs every 30 seconds or runs every 10 seconds. So with all of that, I have all my backend structure for the information, right? So what I need to do is to start working on my Apex application. So I'm going to try to show it directly in the application. Let me try to get the one that is MTA. Okay, yes. I have this application with several agencies. I have it with MTA, that is New York City information. I have it with SEPTA, that is Philadelphia information, and I have it also for Cap Metro, that is Austin, Texas. I'm going to try to showcase it directly from the MTA. So this would have information about New York City buses and subways, right? So first, let me go. I have this sign-in option. I'm going to sign in, so that way I am able to have some favorite stations already loaded. So from here, I have information from my stops. So here, simply using a smart search in Apex, I can very easily filter, for instance, for route types. If I want to see a stop only for subways, for instance, I can do it here. Also, I can filter by routes. So if I want to see only the A route or the C route, things like that, I can do this. This is very easy to do with Apex and with the smart filters, right? Let me see, I should have here favorites. So for instance, this station is close to my workplace in New York. So let me open the details. When I open the details, here the application will read the information from the APIs, and what here I am showing the next services that are going to arrive to this station. So this station is J Street, Tiller Street, and they serve B26, B57. So for B26, we will have, in some minutes, we will have this bus arriving to the stations. So here I am getting information from the updates API, real-time API. Also, as I mentioned before, the MTA offer or support the vehicle position API for buses. So with that, I am able to get the location in real time and update it in a map, right? Of course, this takes some time to update because the information is published every 30 seconds maybe, and there is also the job running, getting the information that takes some time, but hopefully you could notice that the vehicles are moving and are updating while I am speaking. I can hover over the vehicles and I can see information about that. Also, I can identify easily the bus route because I assigned here some random colors that I use here in my layers for my map. So with that color convention, it would be easier to identify what are the routes that are that are moving here in the map, right? Okay, I also will have here the alerts. So if there are any alerts for any of the routes of the station, it will show in here, right? So for all of that, I was using only Apex components, Apex maps. So that was very straightforward to do it using these Apex components. Also, one of the main use cases that I use this application was the capability to compare stops, because in my case, when I used to live in New York City, I had to take the train and then I will have to take bus to get home. But depending, there were two buses that I could take, but they were from different stops and different stations. So depending on that, I will have to decide from my train in what station should I get off. right? So here what I usually do to compare the next routes that are coming to any of the stations, and without to make the decision in what stop should I get off, right? So this is one of the main use cases that I did for this application in New York, right? Okay, so with that, I was able to get the basic information, but then I realized that there were many other features, very cool features that I could use from Apex or Oracle, and those features would improve my application. So I'm going to show that in a moment. So for instance, here I created this stops map screen. So here it will identify my current location. I'm not located right now in New York City. So because the idea is that it will locate and it will show me the stations, the stops that are close to that location. Of course, because I'm not in New York City, it's not showing any stops right now here. But here first, I want to show this feature that is available in Oracle Autonomous Databases. You can do geocoding with a location. So if I have my current location here, doing this process, I could get the address for that location. So if you can see here, I have the house number, the street, the city, state, and even the zip code, right? So right now, this is my current location. So it's very nice to have that. Actually, I can click any part on the map. It will locate that the current location, and it will also do the same. It will translate that location to the address, right? So as you can see, that works. Is very interesting feature that you have available for free in Oracle Autonomous Database. And this also works the other way. So for instance, I'm going to enter my address from my workplace in New York. So I believe this is the name of the street. It's 9 Metro Tech Center. This is in Brooklyn. The state is New York. And I don't know the zip code, to be honest. And I'm going to click locate. Let's see if with that is enough to locate it. And yes, it is. So it was able to identify that address and point it in the map. And it's showing me right now in a distance of 1 kilometer. This is the default that I have here. All the stations or stops that are around that position. I can change that in here. So for instance, I can change it to 2 kilometers, and it will show me in that radius, in that distance. Or even I can have decimal points here. I'm going to say 0.5, half kilometer, and it's going to filter and show me only that distance. Okay. Now, here I have a very interesting feature that I didn't know it was possible in Apex. You can create a faceted search against a map or working on a map, right? So this faceted search is filtering in the attributes that I have on my map. This is a very, very cool feature. I was thinking to create this feature manually. I was thinking to create the filters in my page, and then in the query of my map to include that filter in some way. But fortunately, I was made aware of this feature And I only had to use it, and it was very simple to make this kind of functionality in Apex. So with this kind of functionality, I can, for instance, filter only subway stations in my 1 kilometer distance. So here I filtered only subway stations. I could also filter certain routes. So if, for example, I want to filter only the A train here, I could do it, and it will show me only the stations that are subway and that serves the route 8. A. So if I open, this is a subway station. I just want to quickly point this, that, as I mentioned before, the subway APIs they don't support vehicle positions, right? So they only support the updates. So in that case, I can have this information about the next trains that are going to arrive to that station. But I don't see the location directly here, because they don't support that for subways. They only support it for buses. But they have also the alerts API, and here we can see that there are many alerts for the routes or for the station, right? Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. So as I mentioned, there were these features that I was able to leverage because they were available in Apex, in Oracle, for making possible to do this kind of search within some distance. I will need something in Oracle called geometries. So this was very simplified in 23 AI. So if you have a table with longitude and latitude for the coordinates, for the positions, you can easily create the geometry in Oracle database in 23 AI by simply doing these instructions. This was simplified in 23 AI. Before was possible, but it was a little more complex. And with that, it is possible to use, for instance, this function. This is the function that I used to filter in the map only the stations that are on the 1 kilometer distance or whatever distance that was specified, right? So I already explained and showcased that feature in the application. I already explained this, the faceted search on a map. Very, very cool feature. I already showcased also the geocoding and reverse geocoding feature. That is how you can, with an address, get the location, or with the location, get an address. This is very, very cool feature also. And I want to highlight this. This is available in Oracle Autonomous Database completely for free. This project I am presenting, I created it in always free autonomous database. And with that, I have all of these features. So that means I am not paying anything by using all of these features. Maybe these features like geocoding, if you use another service, maybe they will have some cost associated, but here in Oracle, it's completely free if you have an Oracle Autonomous Database, but you also have the option to have a free Autonomous Database, so it's very convenient, right? Okay, now I'm going to showcase this Apex capability called JSON source. So when I started working on this, I believe the JSON source capability in Apex was introduced in 24.2. That means that when I started working on this, I didn't have that feature. Okay, let me go back. So, happening. Allow me one moment to open again this. Okay. So in order to use the information that I am using and to show it in the reports or in the maps, I needed to parse the JSON structure and to be able to use it in a query. So these are the kind of queries that I had to use at the beginning because the information was part as JSON and I had to, and the JSON have a complex structure. It's not only attributes, but there are attributes and objects inside the response, and those objects have also objects and so on. So it's a complex structure. I had to spend quite some time understanding the structure to be able to use to create this kind of queries. Yeah, it's not very simple, very straightforward queries, right? But then Apex 24.2 was released, and they included something called JSON sources. This is huge. Let me show you. You create the JSON source. Let me maybe zoom in a little. For creating the JSON source, in my case, I have one table and one column with the JSON data. So with that is enough to create the JSON source. You only specify the table and the column that has the JSON data. And with that, Apex automatically create this data profile. So Apex automatically is able to recognize all the attributes that is returning that JSON, and also the hierarchy inside that JSON. If there are nested objects inside the JSON, Apex will recognize that and will create the structure here. So you can see, for instance, these attributes doesn't have parent column. That means that they will be the top attributes, but there are other attributes that has a parent column. So that means that they are nested inside the structure, right? But all of this was automatically discovered by Apex. Maybe I had to change that. For instance, this attribute was recognized as a number, but actually there are some cases where it can be a bar chart. So I only had to change that for a couple of attributes. That was only the thing that I needed to do. But the the bit work was done by Apex, recognizing all of that structure. And with that, I was able, for instance, to create one simple interactive report in this page. And I am specifying that the source for this would be a JSON source. I'm going to specify what JSON source I want to use. I have to say in what nested level I want to use this. And that's it. With that, I am able to show an interactive report or any other component in Apex using the JSON source without writing a single line of code, without writing the complex queries that I showed before. I only had to do this, but this is very simple in JSON sources and also in REST sources, if you are familiar with that. In Apex, they offer the local post processing part, and that is simply from the response that you are getting, you can, for instance, join to local tables and get more information. So to add more, it's like to add more information to the information that the JSON source is returning, right? To add it from local tables, for example. So I only did that to add the names of the stations or certain other information that I have in these local tables, stop or or trips. But it was very simple. And with that, I was able to create, for instance, this kind of functionality that actually is the same kind of functionality that I created here, for instance, the comparing stop, but this I did it manually. I have to create the tables and all the UI for that. But here in an interactive report, I can very easily to filter what stops I want to include in my report. I can specify a break for in the stop name column to show it this way. And also I can save reports and have it stored in my user preferences. So it's very, very easy to use. And I can use all the nice feature that an interactive report has, like creating charts, pivots, downloading, sending information to my email, all the cool features that you know in interactive reports, right? So here I created like the same comparison steps that I did before, but this was I didn't have to write a single line of code to do this, right? So this was very, very big help for me in creating, in parsing this information, right? Okay, how is the time? Okay, I'm going to rush to show a couple more of features. Here I can track specifically a vehicle, right? So here, let's say that I want to target this vehicle. This vehicle will arrive to my station in 39 minutes from now, right? But here I can have this line that is showing me driving directions from that point to my station. This is another cool feature that is included in Oracle database, an autonomous database, that maybe is not very useful here, but I wanted to showcase because you can have driving information, driving directions from one point to another. This line was created by this service in Oracle, and if I hover over that, it's showing me the distance and the time that it will take to go from that point to the other using that route. And this was, I believe, this is created using real-time traffic data. So this is a very cool feature offered for free in Oracle Autonomous Database, right? Okay. Finally, because I already have information here that is very similar to a graph, I was able to let me try to showcase this in here. This is the SEPTA information. So here I have a graph created based on the information that is coming from the GTFS schedule or static part. And there is a plugin in Apex to visualize graph. So first in Oracle, it was introduced the way to create graph directly and to query those graphs directly from the database. And in Apex, there is this plugin. It's very nice. So here I am showing all the stations and the routes that interconnect different stations, right? So I want to quickly show when I used to live in Philadelphia, because I don't live there anymore, I was lucky to live around this area because I have this station very close to me. And as you can see from this graph, this station is very important and virtually can connect to any other station on the network, right? So this is cool. The visualization is very cool, but I mentioned that also you can in Oracle database, you can query the graph data. So with those queries, I am able, for instance, to get the different combinations to go from one point to another. So for instance, from here, I want to go to the airport, right? This was my station, and I want to go to the airport. I think this is, yeah. And here, very, very quickly, it found all the different combinations that are possible to go to the airport from this point to this point. Maybe the best way to do it will be one that only has one route. So here I have the number of routes used in this trip, right? So I can filter here or show me only the possibilities, but only using one route, and also how many steps. So here I have 3 or 5. Of course, maybe the 3 is the better for me. So I can here also query this data. So I think that is the time. Let me quickly go over questions. If there are any pending questions that I can quickly answer in this moment. Is this for one bus route? No, it's for all the bus routes because the job is getting the information from the API, and the API usually the GTFS real time, when you invoke the API, you get the location from all the vehicles in that. Usually you cannot filter, I want the positions only for this route. That is why also it was a better strategy to do it centralized, because you are always getting all the information, right? So I hope that answers that question. Okay, I don't have time for showing something that they want to hear. Haven't I offered you a job? No. Can you run this on your phone? Yes, of course. You know, Apex is completely responsive, so it's very easy to run it from your phone. Zip code for downtown Brooklyn. Okay, thank you. I didn't remember the zip code for Brooklyn. Okay, I think the time is up. It's over, so sorry about that. I think that there are no pending questions that I could answer quickly right now. But you will have the slides. You will have, I will make sure that my contact information is there. If you have more questions, you can ask me, no problem. So thank you very much for attending. Sorry that I took a little more minutes for
No
this
worries,
presentation.
Oscar. This was an incredible presentation, Oscar. Thank you so much. I do see one question that I think would be good if you know the answer to it. It says, for the autonomous database geocoding service, is this continuously updated
I
with
don't know
new
the
addresses?
answer. Yeah, I don't know the answer, but in my test is very accurate. So I think it is a good frequency of updated here, because actually I was able to find some addresses without typing exactly the address, right? So it's also have some kind of smart search in there. But I think it's very updated. At least in the test that I did, it always locate the address that I was trying to go.
Very cool. Okay, and if you have time, we can go over a little bit. There's another question asking if they can see the query about station routes.
Okay, yes, because I have it here right now, so it should be very quickly. So this is the query. It's using this operator graph table, and you here specify what is the station, what are the rows, and also, if this is important, I have to specify a limit in here. So it is showing me only the possibilities that only take up to 6 steps to go from one station to another. And this is showing me all the possibilities, even though possibilities that doesn't make sense for this purpose, right? For instance, this option doesn't make any sense that I go from gray to suburban station and then go back to gray to go to Penn Medicine and go to the airport. This doesn't make any sense for this purpose, right? But it is showing me all the possible combinations. And this is very performant. These kind of queries is very performant. I have the normal SQL version for this. For this, we will need some recursion queries. And the normal version without using graph, it takes a lot of time to get all of this information. And you can see here that it's very performant and you get the results very, very quickly.
Awesome. You have a lot of praises in Q&A right now. So thank you so much, so much for your hour of time. I know we could probably go through all these other questions for another half hour with you, but hopefully you come back and present for us again with another cool presentation. This is so much fun. Guys, this is one of the reasons why you need to go to user groups like Kscope and check out tons of amazing presentations and ideas like this from Oscar. So thank you again. And I hope you guys tune in to our upcoming webinars with NYOUG. And don't forget to look for an email from us so you can rewatch this webinar and check out Oscar's slide deck. Oscar, any links and other things you may have shared? Do you mind sending that to us so we can share it with everyone else as well? Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
All
Oscar.
Awesome. With that, thank you guys for hanging in there over the hour with us. We look forward to the next presentation with NYOUG and viscosity, and I hope everyone had a great holiday season and an upcoming holiday season as well. So we'll see you at the next one. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.